Hello guys, today I'm going to talk about this one, this bad boy, Small Sessions box set from 2011 by the Beach Boys. This is not going to be a review of the Smile Session album or the Smile album in itself, but I'm going to share a few words about that as well too, but mostly it's going to be a review of this certain box set. This one came out with many different formats, so there was like a CD version with just 2 CDs. It was basically just the Smile Sessions, or so to speak, the Smile album, and then also a bunch of bonus tracks. And there was, I think there was the LP version, which was pretty much the same as the CD one, and then there was this one which has both vinyl stuff and also CDs. But let's just dive into it. First of all, I think this is sort of a holy grail for Beach Boys fans. If you have this one, consider yourself lucky. These are kind of pricey these days, and the Smile itself, Smile Sessions, is out of print, so you cannot buy it new. You have to buy it second hand if you want to have it, which is crazy to me because it's a great music, and it's probably the second most well-known album by the Beach Boys, so it's weird that it hasn't been reissued. But anyway, this is the cover, and as you can see, it is sort of 3D, so it is multi-dimensional, which I love. You have the Smile shop over here, and you have people over there and everything. All these elements are popping out so well, and there's even a light up version which has like a switch over here, and it has lights. So if you wanted to have that back in those days, you had to, I don't know, buy it straight from Brian or something, and it cost like $5,000. I don't know, but it was pricey, and it was very limited. But I always loved the Smile artwork. This is actually the handiest to do this way because this weighs a lot. So I always loved this Smile artwork. I think it's one of the best album covers that the Beach Boys ever had. It just has a cool vibe. The back cover is pretty simple. It's like this, and there used to be, and it is actually, I have it in a box in a pristine condition, like a big piece of paper over here which describes the ingredients, but I don't have it with the box because it's easier to just store separately. So as we open this up, we have inside over here sort of the artwork for the back cover of the Smile album if it would have been released in '67. So this is what they had planned for it. It's really interesting to see the track selection that they might have had in this album, and all these, I think these are like the horoscope things. So these are pretty cool, and I love this picture, black and white. It is very classy, and overall just the packaging and this whole thing I feel is sort of the classiest that the Beach Boys ever got when it came to these box sets, because as much as I love Feel Flows and Sail on Sailor, for example, and Made in California has amazing ingredients, like the stuff, the music itself is great in it, but I don't like that artwork at all. And these ones are like 50-50. Like, I love the cover art, but then when it comes to the little book inside, I'm not a huge fan of this style of those. But I think with this Smile set, they really had it all together when it comes to like everything, every little detail. And this is actually like now the Smile album. It would not have been a double LP in '67, but this one is. You have a super cool inner sleeve over there. I love this picture. It's kind of a cowboy style, I don't know, they're like a horse stables or something, it's kind of weird. And then there's the same back cover as you already saw. And there's the spine, anyway. So, and the albums are super cool. You have that rainbow capital logo. And basically you have on the first vinyl most of the Smile material, and it follows the style of the Brian Wilson Presents Smile. Pretty much same track list and all. And then on vinyl 2, on side 3, you got sort of the ending of the Smile album in itself. It ends with Good Vibrations, the longer version. And then on side 4, you got some bonus tracks like You're Welcome and stereo mix for Vegetables, Wind Chimes, stereo mix, Cabin Essence, and Serves Up stereo mix. So it's super cool. But that's really all I have to say now about this album. I'm gonna do a separate review of this one at some point, but it's a really hard one because same thing really goes with Pet Sounds. It's a really hard album to review because everything has been said about it. So it takes a bit time to find the right moment for me to do it, because I want to come up with something, I don't know, like a different angle or something that hasn't been done a million times already. So, okay, how am I going to do this? Let's continue with the sort of the vinyl stuff. It also comes with, or came with, two 45s, like 7-inch singles. Serves Up with Vegetables, and then there's Heroes and Villains Part 1 and Part 2. And both of these are actually super cool. I love these. You can see over here the original artwork that I cannot now remember the artist who did these, but he did several sort of artwork pieces with the themes and the song titles. So here you can see Vegetables, and then there's Serves Up. You have the jewelry over there. Actually played on the record, sort of. And you know, cool stuff. Smile Shop is empty. I don't know what that means. Then there's a little lamp. I don't know, it reminds me of Cabin Essence. You have, I don't know, there's not a cornfield, but some sort of field back in the background, and you know, all kinds of cool things. And this is really interesting, the Heroes and Villains one, because it's got like very interesting mix, because it's separated with 2 parts, and the label is super cool with these. So you have like Part 1 and Part 2, and I love that. So anyway, so this is like all of the vinyl stuff, and then we have rest of the material, which is the biggest chunk of material, and it comes in CD format, in a sort of thing like this, little book like this, which has the session tape spines printed on it, which is super cool. I love this idea. And when you open this up, you got these sort of newspaper articles, and the CDs are actually, what the heck, is here supposed to be something? There's like a slot. Oh, I think these were probably here, actually. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think those were over here. Not really sure. Anyway, CD1, and then this is really hard to show you, but you open this up. There we got CD 2, 3, 4, and 5, so we got 5 CDs. And CD1 is basically the same stuff that is on the LP, and then on CD 2 to 5 you got the session stuff. And it starts off, if I remember now correctly, from Heroes and Villains, and it kind of just goes on from there, and CD 5 is only Good Vibrations stuff. And I actually it's been a while since I listened to CDs 3 and 4, but I did listen to the first session CD, which has that super cool Brother Records label, and not too long ago, I don't know, a few months ago, and I love that one. And I just listened to the Good Vibrations CD just a few moments ago, finished it up, and it's amazing. And while I was listening to that, I was thinking, it's a shame that all of these are just basically the instrumental tracks, so we don't have the sessions for the vocals here, and what's up with that? And then I started to wonder that, and I remember that the vocal session tape is actually lost. And I got so sad, because it's remarkably important piece of music history, and it is so strange to me why this one, probably the most important piece of Beach Boys music history. This item, why is that lost? That is so strange to me, because I believe their archives are really good actually. They have most of everything very well organized. But why is the Good Vibrations vocal tape lost? That I cannot comprehend. Did somebody steal it or what? Track 21, Good Vibrations Session Masters. So that one is amazing. And I just wish that they had the vocals on top of it too. But I bet somebody's done a fan mix of that already. But anyway, cool stuff, but it's just so sad that the vocal tape has been lost. I don't know when it got actually lost, but if somebody knows, let me know. It would be really interesting to hear more about that one. But now that we are here, let's talk about the little book, the small book that comes with it. It's actually pretty thick, and back cover is just simple white. And this one is a really groovy piece of work over here. I love this because it's so comprehensive. It really has everything included. It's got so cool pictures. This one reminds me of Walk Hard, the movie. It has great quotes and just the style of it, the graphic design and everything. I think it's very tastefully done. Oh, I love these photos. So I could just go on and on about this one. But it's got interviews, it's got anecdotes, and then it has, I believe it has like liner notes. But anyway, there's like the ingredients, and I believe there's like information about the sessions. Oh, and this one, it's got the lyrics. I love this. And here you can also see the artwork that I was just talking about. So it's got the lyrics, and this is really, I think this is like the... Yeah, here you can... There's like a timeline, smile, history. And I think this is probably the best made sort of booklet or book that the Beach Boys ever had on any of their box sets. But I want to see if there are any of those that I was talking about, those sort of session. Yeah, hey, over here. Yeah, we do have these. This one is super cool. Sessionography. I was actually kind of disappointed that we don't have anything like this with the Feel Flows and Sail on Sailor sets, because this is really interesting stuff to me. And yeah, it's got like who played what on which track and which date it was recorded and stuff like that. So a lot of cool information on this one. So then we also have, so that's not all, we also have this thing. This is just a little booklet, kind of like what might have been with the album if it was released in '67. And here you can see more of the artwork stuff. And basically it just has cool images, cool photographs of the guys. Here you can see Mike with his orange juice, not apple juice, but I think that's orange juice. Starting of the decline, start of the downward spiral of Mike, I guess. Anyway, I love it that Dennis gets his own page, and this image is super cool. I think these are so dark, they must have been taken in Europe. And then we got Brian, cool image, and then there's, oh, I love this one. This shot is so great. So that's pretty much it. This was very expensive when it was released, and it still is expensive, but I think it's definitely worth the money, and I think this is still my favorite Beach Boys box set. I don't really, to be honest, I don't really return that often to the material. I do like to listen to the Smile album in itself, but when it comes to the session stuff, I very rarely find myself listening to them. But as I was listening to the Good Vibrations CD, I just found myself amazed I don't know how to really describe this, but it's so interesting to hear Brian produce and direct the musicians in a studio, especially back in those days. But first of all, if you watch the Brian Wilson Long Promised Road movie, there's that part where he's producing Honeycomb, and it amazes me how similar he still is in the studio when he just like he was in the 60s, because he's like so quick and he knows exactly what he wants. And that's really, when you hear those first takes that they do on the Good Vibrations stuff on the CD, those first few tracks, and you can hear that something is a bit off. You don't really know what, because, well, we have heard the finished version a gazillion times, so we as fans are familiar with that. And when you listen to those earlier takes and all of that stuff, it still sounds great. Like right from the get-go, it sounds really good. And if you was a lesser producer back in those days, you would have the song, you would have the session sheet, and you would show the players or tell them what to play, and stuff like that. And you would maybe correct them once or twice, and then you'd go like, yeah, that's good, because it's really, these are professionals, they play it right from the get-go. But what Brian does is he knows exactly what he wants, and it's just so cool to hear bit by bit how he builds that sonic sort of experience, which with each musician and each part, he's so clear and so, he's not guessing around, he knows exactly what he wants, each drum fill and everything, like he just knows exactly how it should be. And I don't really know, I cannot really, it's really hard for me to explain this in words, but I think you know what I'm talking about. So that's for me the most interesting aspect of the session material in itself. I don't really need to hear multiple long takes of the musicians playing, variations or pretty much the same thing really over and over again. I love those. My favorite bits are those spoken sections and those directions that Brian gives, and that chit chat, that talking in the studio. So that stuff I really love, and I think sometimes maybe when it comes to these newer archival releases, they could have and should have, in my opinion, included more of that stuff there too. But I guess that's it. I guess that's all I have to really say right now about the Smile Sessions box set. I love it. My favorite box set of all time. Thanks for watching. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section. See you hopefully soon again with the next video. Take care. Bye bye.